Welcome to Find a Franchise. My name is Michael Porter, and this is an all-new series where we showcase some of the top franchises in the country, meet the people behind these organizations, and highlight some of the opportunities that you can get your hands on. Joining us today is Bertus Albertse, founder of Body20 Global. Bertus, thank you for joining us today. Welcome.
Thank you, Michael. It's fantastic to be here.
Fantastic. Tell me, what is, just to give the viewers a sense, what is Body20 Global?
So we're a fitness franchise. Specifically, we want to capture the demand that's out there for boutique franchising. I mean, the franchise sector, this is a very exciting opportunity. It's actually the fastest growing sector in the franchising industry is the boutique fitness space. Okay. So we offer, EMS training, which uses technology to offer people, strength workouts, deep muscle recruitment, as if you're picking up weights, but you don't have any weights in your hands. So it's really safe on the joints. Okay. It saves you an incredible amount of time because you're able to activate all the muscle groups all at the same time instead of going to the gym, doing different muscle groups on different days. So, in essence, we sell time. We use technology to make it easier for people to have a professional workout without them needing a massive amount of experience or a massive amount of conditioning. Okay. So, we franchised the business about 4 years ago, 2014. It's now almost going on to 5 years. And we're seeing fantastic success.
Brilliant. Okay, let's take it back just a moment and see what exactly is EMS. What does that mean?
So it stands for electromuscle stimulation. Okay. So the technology has been around for an incredible long time. I mean, people remember the Verimalt belts, and where there's a bit of a negative connotation attached to EMS technology. But to be honest with you, it's the application has become so robust and so specific. We can recruit both white muscle fiber, red muscle fiber. So in layman's terms, that's like your fast twitch muscle, your slow twitch muscle. And the key to that is that it's incredibly hard to train like that. And what we offer people using electromuscle stimulation is instead of your brain sending those action potentials, like when you're lifting up a weight, the heavier the weight, the more signals your brain needs to send to recruit more muscle, to overcome the weight of the load and pick it up. Now, instead of using weights to activate those muscle fibers, we're using electromuscle stimulation to generate action potentials. Now, the key there is that you can do a full body workout in only 20 minutes because we can send those signals to all the muscles at the same time, which your brain really can't do unless you're incredibly well conditioned and do very multi-muscle functional exercises, which is quite complex exercises. So in our case, people don't just sit still. People sometimes wonder, oh, do you do exercises while you strapped up on this awesome suit that looks like a Robocop suit? You do exercises, but instead of adding weights to it, we stimulate the muscle and increase the intensity of the muscle, and all of the muscle groups we activate separately. So if you have weak areas, we can actually intensify that. Well. Correct. But it's always a full body workout.
Okay, brilliant. As you say, though, it's definitely about the time factor in this day and age where people are just so busy. There's so many things to do. So to get your workout done in 20, 30 minutes is a great thing.
Exactly.
So when did you decide that it was a great idea to take this idea and turn it into a franchise?
So first of all, you got to always seek opportunity, and that's the first goal, and then after that, strategic planning. And once I saw the opportunity, I immediately saw, as a professional trainer myself, been training since I was 15. I used to be a competitive bodybuilder, junior South African champion. So I understand training. And I tried this on demo on this technology out of Germany, and I was blown away that this could offer the average person a professional workout. This is the quality of workout I do when I go do weightlifting. And immediately I saw, wow, now anyone can do this. And that's why I saw the opportunity. And it wasn't about franchising it immediately. It was really my passion about seeing the future. There's a light bulb moment where you've got something. And it starts there, and then you got to start figuring out, a lot of people wait until they have complete clarity before they take action. And life just doesn't work like that. As an entrepreneur, you got to start taking action. And as you do, take one step forward at a time, things become more clear.
Absolutely.
So that was really, the goal was really, I was very passionate. I wanted to introduce other people to the training concept, to the technology. And that quickly, escalated to us becoming a franchise brand over time.
So then, to become a franchisee within Body20, what are the requirements? Do I need to be a fitness trainer? Do I have to have experience in that field? How do I get started if I wanted to buy into this?
Yeah, it's a common perception that people think you've got to be into fitness. Obviously, we want someone that's got an affinity to health and fitness and loves it, and it's a lifestyle, and this is a lifestyle business. It's definitely a lifestyle franchise. But you don't need to be a personal trainer. You don't need to be someone who's been training for 10 or 15 years. We employ a lot of trainers, but you've got to be someone that can manage a sales force, that can motivate your team, can create a culture of health and fitness, and that starts from the owner's heart, onwards. So the culture is very important to us. So we're looking for two major things: cultural alignment and strategic alignment. The worst thing you can do is take up a franchisee just because they want to buy a franchise.
Absolutely. You've got to be interested in what you're doing.
Precisely. You've got to believe in the product, and that's why typically, our majority of our franchisees come as members, which is fantastic. There are people that actually bought the service, and paid for their membership and say, wow, I love this so much, I love the results, and I want to be a part of this community of Body20. So we, once we get the interest, we typically send basic information through, and then we get an application. An application is twofold. We want to know a little bit about the franchisee's background, what have you done before, have you owned your own business, have you managed a team, and then second to that, we typically look at someone's personal statement of assets and liabilities, because you've got to understand the financial
the business
risks.
Can work, that's going to be a success.
I think that most important for us is understanding what risk are the entrepreneur taking to start this business, and a lot of people are incredibly excited and, they want to put all at it, but when we do proper financial planning and we build the business plan, we want to make sure we understand where the money's coming from, what's the interest rates on the loan repayments, and we've got certain requirements around that too.
So you do a lot of research for the franchisee, the potential franchisee. What other sort of support do you give them? Because obviously if they're buying into your brand, you've got an established business model, you know that it works, they know that it works because it's been successful, but how do you sort of bring them into the fold, so to speak, and get them up to speed with how to run the business?
So it's twofold. I think the pre-operational phase, where the project, the build phase, location, we go out and search the location, do site visits with our franchisee. We have earmarked certain areas. We've got venues that might be available but not be available. But that's the first part of it. And the second part is training. And I'm not talking only about physical training. We're talking about financial management training, sales training, marketing training. So we've got a brand induction, a franchise training program, which spans over a 4-day course. And then we've got operational hours that we also do. And then obviously ongoing workshops is incredibly important. Customer experience management,
so it's
sales.
Continuous support all the way through the journey.
That and then systems finally. I think that, it's about you're having a great project plan, making sure you've got clear tasks and milestones to get the location open as soon as possible, because there's an opportunity loss. Then second to that, training them out adequately to run the business and to understand the product technically, but also what are our expectations and our obligation, and what is their expectations and their obligations. So setting that clear from the start builds the right foundation for a successful franchise relationship.
And then you've divided it into 3 different levels. So you've got Body20 Express, Standard, and Flagship. So how does that impact the guy who's looking to potentially buy a franchise in terms of how much it's going to cost them, what they potentially can make? Just give us a brief idea of that.
Well, that's exactly why we've built such a robust franchise offering. Is we don't have a one-size-fits-all. When I started out, I didn't have 3 different studio types because I didn't know who's going to be my franchisee yet. And then I recognized over time that there are people with larger financial capacities, smaller financial capacities, larger operational capacities, smaller operational capacities. And what does that mean? For example, a personal trainer that's done this his entire life, he's got a great clientele, but he wants to convert his conventional training, personal training, into a Body20. He might not have R1 million to do that. And that's why we've got a smaller entry for them in the Express type, where it's an owner-operated shop. You will work as the manager and might have to start with 1 or 2 trainers and expand that over time and grow into a standard and hopefully eventually a flagship type. The differences between them are the capital entries. You've got a larger capital investment because you've got bigger space to fit out, you've got more equipment, you've got a larger team, so that impacts your cash flow. But the bigger studios, if you're going to be in a partnership, for example, or you are an existing business owner and you want to add this to your portfolio, then the standard type or the flagship type would be the suitable, because the ceiling is, the profitability is much higher, and it's got a different management strategy versus the Express.
And obviously you could start small and grow the business over time, which is so there's potential for growth.
I mean, 90% of our studios, to give you an idea, either starts as a standard type, growing to a flagship type, because you mitigate a lot of the operational risks by starting smaller and growing taller. And the nice thing about our business is you can step it up. As your membership base grows, you can grow your staff complement. And the same way you can add additional equipment. So instead of being capital intensive up front and buying equipment that you're not utilizing yet.
It'll grow with you over time.
Precisely. As long as your space, and that's the key, is if you want to grow into a flagship studio of ours, you've got to fit out the space up front. So there are some variables that we keep in mind. And during the planning phase, we do very detailed financial planning. We do a budget for the business. We obviously do sales and cost of sales to understand what the cash flow forecast and projections look like.
Potential within the business.
Precisely. And then, once you start making some changes, and then you can see how that impacts your business's performance, So I think that's when it gets exciting, is when you start realizing, ooh, if I take this venue, I might get 2 more sales per month. How does that then impact my cash flow? Because the venue is more expensive. Is it worthwhile? And a lot of people, particularly small business owners, is they don't let the financial, well, first of all, they don't build the financial business plan, which is the first mistake. You must understand the numbers in the business, and once you do that,
it's got to all make sense so that you can work it out. And
precisely.
so that no unknown variables within it, basically.
Precisely, and understand that how does your decision impact your budget?
Okay.
This is the key. So, financial plan doesn't make the decisions for you, but it supports your decision making.
Absolutely.
So that's an incredible important thing for us, is that we have a sound financial plan, a budget, and that sets the expectation first of all, and we need to then ongoingly manage that expectation and make decisions that's aligned with our plan.
Fantastic. Well, sounds like a fantastic opportunity, very exciting, and I'm sure that a lot of viewers will be quite interested to get involved in that. Awesome. So if you want to get in touch with Bertus and find out more about Body20, you can contact him on the social media handles below. And if you want to feature your franchise on the show, contact Andre Stadler on the email shown on the screen. I'm Michael Porter, and I'll catch you next time on Find a Franchise.